G'day boys and girls, and welcome to another Tools and Stuff Makita update. If you're wondering why you haven't seen me for a while, it's due to COVID, but I'm back now. Hopefully the voice hangs in there. If I sound a little bit off at times during this video, now you know why. Let's start off by taking a quick look at this patent here. This is a 1-inch square drive impact wrench by the looks of things, running on the XGT platform. The only information I have for you are these images, because reading all the patent information is rather tedious for any patent, as they try and hide all the interesting stuff through a whole lot of other jargon. But anyway, that looks like a 1-inch square drive impact wrench is not too far away for XGT, which is definitely needed to keep it in line with some of the other brands. Next up, the ML010G wobble light has been released in the States. This is the XGT wobble light, but it also does LXT as well. It will take 2 LXT batteries or 2 XGT batteries, but it only needs 1 battery to run. It also runs on AC and can be linked to other lights that are the same, so you can have a bunch of them lighting up an area. And just like the 18 volt LXT version, they both have a max lumen output of 5500 and then 2 lower settings, 3000 and 1500. You'll get around 8.5 hours on full whack with a 5 amp hour 40 volt battery, or around 27 hours on the lowest setting. Next up, yet another chili bin, cooler, warmer, esky, whatever you want to call it. Another one. This is the 4th one in the series. You may recall the first one was a 30 litre capacity, then we had a 50 litre, a 7 litre, or the newest one is a 29 litre. They've made one with 2 compartments, so you can have a chilled area and a frozen area. You can have your drinks on one side and your ice cream on the other. It goes down to -18 and up to positive 60 degrees Celsius. The color scheme of this one is different to the previous 3, being teal and black, where the others were teal and white. That's probably just to make it stand out from the others so you don't get it confused at a quick glance. So 2 compartments makes it much better for something like camping. You can go away, you can take some frozen meat or something with you and extend the life of your camping trip, which is very cool. Instead of it just being used as a freezer like you would have had to do with the previous models, you can now use this as part freezer and also have your beers on the other side, and yeah, perfect holiday, right? Not only that, once you've knocked off those beers and you're pretty much flat out on the ground laying next to your chili bin, you want to get that last beer out of there, don't panic that you might be on the wrong side and you won't be able to open the lid, because the lid opens from 2 sides. That's right, front, back, just open up the lid no matter where you're laying, get out that last bevy. You will, however, have to get your arm around to the end of the unit so that you can open it with the built-in bottle opener. It has a compartment for 2 LXT batteries or 2 XGT batteries. Can't fit all 4 of them in at once, unfortunately. And even though it takes 2 batteries of each, it only needs 1 to run. As well as running on battery, you can run it on AC or off the cigarette lighter in your car. Next up, another backpack sprayer, but this one's got a bit more grunt than the last ones I've shown you. This one is 2 MPa of pressure, whereas the previous ones were only around half an MPa. So that's 4 times more spraying power than the previous models. But not only that, you also get increased capacity with this 20 litre model, the DUS200. The unit weighs around 6.9 kgs, whack 20 litres of fluid in it. You're looking at around 27 kgs you're going to have to lug around on your back. And it looks like they've shifted the motor unit down the bottom and made it sort of separate from the liquid compartment, unlike the previous ones where it was sort of built in. So that's better for servicing, presumably, and replacing, you know, a cracked or damaged reservoir on the top there. Next up, an attachment for your split shaft system. The EN424MP is a bit of an oddball looking thing. It's kind of like a hedge trimmer on the end of your weed eater. So it kind of looks like a rake or a broom that you push along. You've got a couple of wheels there, and I've had a look at one of these. The wheels are slightly oddly placed. Maybe, you know, could have been a bit bigger in diameter. Unless, of course, you are only 5 feet tall, then it's probably not too bad. It's definitely not designed for the taller human. But the advantage of the blades over a spinning piece of nylon is, A, you don't have to keep replacing the nylon, which can be a pain. And B, it's not flicking stones everywhere and garbage, grass and shit that, you know, the nylon hits that flies all over the place, smash windows or just pepper your legs with a bunch of nice little red dots. Being that it's the hedge trimmer style, it doesn't fire stuff everywhere, so that's quite nice, and it just has that set cut. Your cutting capacity isn't changing like it does with nylon. You don't have to keep banging it on the ground to get the nylon out or anything like that. It'll always stay the same, although if you do hit a big stone or something with it, it's going to be a bit more damaging to that than it is to a piece of nylon. Hopefully I'll have a play with one of those soon. Now before we get to the main one, I'll just do a quickie here. This is the ML011G. It is a 40 volt light that just clips straight on top of the battery. There is also an 18 volt version, the DML817. Both of them have a 300 lumen light and a 5 volt 2.4 amp output USB port. If you want to hear how many times I've had to stop and take a deep breath and cough my guts out, go and check out this video over on Patreon. Link in the description. They have also released a new earth auger, the DG002G. If you're in the States, that'll be the GGD02 if they release it there. And what they have done is remove this. That's all. Everything else is the same. Still got the gearbox with the 1500 RPM. So no 3-jaw chuck. Instead, they've just got a direct drive coming out with what would be the adapter. This is an adapter for the auger bits. This will just be direct into the tool, so you can't put a drill bit in it and use it as a right angle drill. Bum bum. And they've also made an improvement to the massive cutoff saw, the CE001G. It now comes with a dust port and AWS. Pity they didn't think about putting that on the first one. So the new one is the CE002G. In the States, it'll be the GEC02. Right, now an interesting one. This is the BAC01 power station. I use the word power station because it sounds a bit cooler than inverter or portable power supply, you know, so yeah. People have been asking for something like this from Makita for a while now, but is this what you wanted? As you can see, it's MacPack shaped and designed, so it will clip into your MacPack stack quite easily, but it needs a separate power supply to function, which is the bit that's just a little bit off-putting to me. It comes with USB-A and USB-C. I think that's the first Makita product to have a USB-C port on it. It also has a cigarette lighter style 12 volt output and 2 regular AC sockets, but none of them will function until you clip a whopping great battery on the top of it, in the form of the PDC1200 for instance. If you're not familiar with the PDC1200, it's basically like one big giant backpack battery. A battery with 1200 watt hours of output. It is a 36 volt, 33.5 amp hour battery. That's pretty massive. 1200 watt hours, it's like a dozen of these all in one handy unit that you clip on the top of the BAC01. Or of course you can clip it on top of a lawnmower and use it for other tools with it on your backpack. So you grab your PDC1200, you clip it on the top of the BAC01, plug it in, and you now can charge your XGT batteries or your LXT batteries off another giant Makita battery. Or of course you can charge your phones, you can run a small fridge or a microwave for instance. This first one being released is a 1400 watt 100 volt system, which not much good in this part of the world. Would need a 240 volt system, so we'll see how long it is before that arrives, so I won't be reviewing this one anytime soon. It has a peak surge output of 2800 watts. You can run it on the old PDC01 as well. That could hold the equivalent of 4 18 volt 6 amp hour batteries, so another great item that would fit with the Makita camping style range, along with this microwave. So what do you want to know about the microwave? Well, look, it exists. It at least exists. I wasn't making it up. It wasn't an April Fool's joke like so many of you thought. It is a real, bona fide, battery-powered 36 volt, 40 volt max microwave. And it's pretty darn cool. And the review for that will be up in 2 days' time. So, if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. I'll check you back here in 48 hours from now, and you can see if this is any good for you. If you just can't wait that long, head over to Patreon. I'll put a link down there and up here. It's already over on Patreon. You can already watch it over there. So if you want to be the first to see it, check that out. Costs you a few bucks each month, and as well as getting the videos early, you'll get bonus videos and photos, and I'll tell you what's coming up and what I'm doing and other little behind the scenes stuff that you never ever find out. Little treats and stuff. Oh, and I give away a power tool every month as well. And for the first time ever, I'm also going to stick all the Patreon names up on the screen at the end of this video. So if any of that interests you, take a look down there, up there, and I will check you guys out in 2 days for this video. Thanks guys, See you on another one in 48 hours time.